So simply, okay, so simply, in any way, like we are hard coding in the, the parameter files too, correct? So basically, it's not exactly, I mean, it's not only the reason that we are doing the parameters. My question is that, what makes your job easier between the parameters and without parameters? So if you change anything on the workflow, you said that you have to.
Sorry, I got disconnected. Can you repeat your question again?
Okay, so what is the main difference between using the parameter and not parameter, but not hard coding, beside the hard codings? Because I know that when you change anything, any session or anything on the workflow, you have to ask some departments, like as you told yesterday, they have to test your workflow again, and they have to take a permission. It goes long days. I do understand. What about if you use the parameters? So you don't go to the workflow, I understand, but still you make the change on the parameter table, and when you're gonna execute or like a click to the load the data, you're gonna load the different data, correct?
Right.
So you have to ask again to someone in some departments that, hey guys, I changed the data, and then I'm gonna load the different data.
No,
So
if you're touching this, if you're loading data from outside Powercenter using a parameter file, they don't care. But the moment you touch Powercenter, they are just scared that you deleted a sorter or you deleted something.
Oh,
so they just want to make sure that nothing in their ETL testers. So there is a team called ETL testers.
Oh, I see. So it means that when you change anything in the parameter file, the text file, they don't care what you load, whatever. They don't care. It goes away right away. It kind of it all. It's like a pre-approved, like it approved.
Yeah.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah, but the moment you start touching Powercenter objects like source, target, or those kind of stuff, they want to test it.
Oh, I see.
The other thing
Abdul, what I understand is like if the job runs in production, right? So if we need to change anything in the param file, we can just go to easily change the param file without letting everyone know.
Yeah. But if you want to make ETL changes, you have to take the ETL objects back to your development folder, make changes, move it to QA folder or testing folder. Testing team will test it. Once they give the approval, then we will move it again to production.
I see.
Just to avoid that process, we parameterize. And even apart from this thing, you should never hard code. You should try to parameterize as much as possible. You shouldn't hard code. Okay, because your mapping will not be, your code will not be flexible. Remember, for the stored procedure also, I said, please do not hard code the table name when you're disabling and enabling the constraint, because I want to use that for other tables as well. But if you hard code, then I won't be able to use it.
But you have to make a documentation for that, even though you do the changes in the param file, right? You have to let everyone know we change these things.
You don't have to. They already assume that when you're first creating the mapping, you're already parameterizing things.
Yeah, some later maybe if there is any changes in the business requirements, then
you don't have to tell the testing team. Just see the business team will tell you that today I want to see female customers. We want to, for example, run a promotion for all female customers. So you get the requirement from the business users. You don't have to tell anyone.
Okay, because the change management process, it goes there as well. They need to approve stuff like that, but you don't have to let everyone know.
No, you don't have to tell the testing team.
Okay.
So you get a business requirement from the business team saying that today we want to load all female customers. So you do that for that person, for that team.
Okay, I understand. Abdul, I have another question. I would like to share my screen.
So,
Turab, before you share the screen, can I ask like one small question too for Abdul?
Go ahead.
Okay, Abdul, there is as you told us that there is a two parameter file location, a parameter file name, right? In the session and workflow. And as you said that if you're gonna have both of them at the same time, different files, the workflow is gonna be overridden, like a dominator.
Yeah.
So my question is that what's the main difference between these two? Like right now, I have only one parameter. I have only one like a parameter file, okay? And I mean, I can put. I tried like many times at home. I put this address like to the session. I tried same the information loaded to the table. I later then cleared over there, put the workflow, same data loaded to the session. I mean the table. So everything is the same. My question is that like, what's the main difference between these like two places to put the location?
So this is just like your global variables and the local variables in stored procedure, right? Your local variable will override global variables. Remember when we declare variables in stored procedures?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So one is outside, one is inside. The one which is inside, which is local, will override the global variable. The same concept here. You can declare parameters at mapping level, session level, and workflow level. But workflow level will always override session level.
No, but like functionally, I think that both of them are the same functioning, right?
Yes, both of them is used to not hard code values there. Both of them is used to make your mapping flexible. So both of them do the same thing, except that one has, they gave you option to do it at session and workflow level.
Yeah, because logically, as I saw on the yesterday's class, that if we're gonna put the let's say different parameter files, and then we just put this location like address and file to the workflow, is gonna kill the session one. That's it. The
It's
session
going
is
to,
gonna
yeah.
be it's gonna kill the session one. So there are no reason like to use the session one. I myself prefer to use all the time workflow. Just
Yeah.
go change the workflow, and I never I would never touch to the session one.
See, the same thing when you import a mapping, right? You're loading data into table A. But at the session level, you can overwrite and say, I want to instead load data to table B, right? So in that case, you will say, okay, even though I imported in the mapping, I imported table A, but I want to load data into table B, and you
I
put
see.
the table. So it's just that one has higher preference over the other one.
I see. Thank you.
It makes it flexible that way.
Thank you.
Okay.
Abdul,
Go scroll to the top. Okay. Where is your folder name? Oh, you put your folder name there. Okay. Oh, you're using UDFs. Very good. I'm going to teach that when we do expressions. Folder name, workflow name, session name. Char 10 will take you to the next line. Parameter name equals to parameter value.
this one right here till here. Okay, you want to see the output? Okay, this is the output I'm getting. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so now I want to add, let's say, DB connection. Okay.
Okay.
So here.
Is that there in the table? Show me the table.
That's what I'm saying. When I add the second one, okay, so how can I add it?
Oh, you have to say.
Parameter.
Okay, so you have to say parameter name 1, parameter value 1, parameter name 2, parameter value 2, parameter name 3, parameter value 3.
Okay, then I need to add it here as well.
You need to have more columns here. Parameter name 1, parameter. So like you have parameter. No. Columns, not rows.
Okay.
Can you delete those? Okay, you need to add more columns.
More columns. So
see, you have parameter name and parameter value, right?
Yes.
You need to add more columns there. You're updating the wrong one.
This is the wrong. Oh. I was trying to do like the same as in my job. So what they do the different style.
Okay, so they are doing it with the help of different row.
They do the the NVL or stuff like that. I can show you. Like they have all the parameter values. Okay, they take it whatever they want it, like from the param files. If you want, I can just share my other screen.
Okay.
If you want to take a look, just give me 2 seconds, please.
Hey Abdul,
Yep.
is Turab working as a SQL developer?
He's working as an Informatica developer.
Do you guys see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the param values. Okay. So
Okay.
yesterday, what is the head sequence? Okay. So I'm gonna show you what is this. This is the mapping that we're getting. So in the source file, I can show you what they do. Select L3 Artem NVL heading,
Okay.
param file name, and this output I'm gonna show you in the database. So this is the what we're getting here. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. How they define the param file. It started from global to be connection, like that.
See, the thing is, they're doing everything in the in source qualifier itself, right? Then what is the
Yes.
use of Powercenter, right?
Yeah, most of the workflows is like does the same thing.
Yeah. What's the point in then using Powercenter when you're writing complicated? So So now when you want to troubleshoot this, it's going to be very difficult, right?
That's what they always push us like to use the old transformations.
Yeah. So your data flow should be through Powercenter. That's why you're using Powercenter, right? What's the
Yes.
point in writing a complicated SQL and just dumping it into open your source qualifier? What's the point in you're not even using Powercenter. You're writing a complicated SQL and putting it here.
This is just a simple one. We have SQL queries like pages.
Yeah, what's the point in using Powercenter when you're writing queries here, right? Whatever you write queries, you can do in Powercenter. Okay, anyways, so
Okay, but sequence, let me just show you real quick. So you see the order by head sequence. If we don't use this order by, let's see the output. Look, you see everything.
it gets messed up. Okay,
Okay. Yeah, that's why they use the head sequence like.
Okay, got it. So
Okay.
global will be 1. Global will be 1. DB connection will be 2. DB connect. EDW
Yes,
will be
that's
3.
right.
Okay. Do select star on the table for that.
Let's see this. You see, everything is global. One is global.
Okay, all globals will be 1.
Second one is the start date, for example.
Okay. Can you, in the wait statement, can you put a workflow name?
Here?
In the database,
Oh. Where?
Put the workflow name there. Do select star on that table. Simple select star on that table.
Okay.
Guys, don't worry if you don't understand this. Okay, you'll understand this.
As Tonya say, when?
Yeah, in 1 month, you'll understand everything. Don't worry. Okay, so can you put the
workflow name?
Yeah, workflow name. So you call that as what is your workflow name?
Workflow name. So you mean the parameter file name, right?
No. Workflow name. In your parameter file name, you have the workflow name, right?
In my parameter file, but I don't have the workflow name.
Then how are you creating a parameter file?
That's that's what I'm trying to figure out. So this is the param file names. Okay, all param file names.
Yeah,
I go one step back to see how we generate this.
Okay, take that param file, okay, see, in your parameter file, you need to have a workflow session and the folder name, right?
That's why we're creating the global one. That's the reason.
Oh, okay. You're just
Okay, that's why we
creating,
don't need that.
okay. So you're just creating a global which all workflows will use like this only.
That's right. We don't use the session folder name, workflow name. I have param file for the different one. I have created for the, as you said,
Okay.
the file, but the production ones use the only global.
Okay. So you guys just created one parameter file for all for all um for all
No,
workflows.
no,
But
no. We have the different parameters. You see, starting from the global is only for this is one workflow.
okay.
Starting from here, and this is another workflow. You see, the workflow name is Epic EDW Fact Professional Hospital Billing Params. The second, let's say, the second workflow is this Fact HPH Params. This is the third EDW patient, for example, another param file, another work. Okay.
Yeah, I got it. So each workflow has its own global. You're not using the
Global,
workflow
yes.
name, folder name,
Param file.
session name.
Yes.
Yeah, you can do it either that way or this way.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to generate the second one, and then so we have here because I have to add the same param files here, and then the different param name, and then different param values. Then I can have a second row.
Okay. What we are doing is different than what you're doing at work. You're creating parameter files, but in this one, you're just creating it as global. But we are creating like specific for that folder and session. Right?
We also create a specific for the each workflow.
Each workflow, but your syntax, the format of your parameter file is different than our parameter file. But what is your question here?
So my question on my other Powercenter was that I would like to add the second one. You said you have to add the param names here.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
I can generate.
So you can do it like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
You can do what you're doing right now, or you can create more columns. Over here you have more rows, right? For each
More rows.
value, you have a different row.
Yes.
Okay. Over there, you will have to create columns.
Okay, I understand. I'm gonna figure out. Abdul, also, are you going to also teach us the because all the workflows start, for example, this is how we generate.
That's the worklet.
Huh? Yeah,
That's the worklet.
Yeah, that's the worklet. How it generates the param file updates
Yeah.
and yes,
I want to show it today's class.
Yes, and workflow runs. This is for the documentation. Begin workflow run log Oracle, and then this kind of stuff. This one.
This is audit. This is the audit stuff.
Audit stuff. That's right. Yes. If you want to go back, check it, and then you can see.
Yeah. Not right now, but we'll look at it towards the end.
Okay.
Okay. Today I will show you how to extract data from a table, parameter table, and load it to a parameter file. Then I will show you how the second session should read the parameter file generated by the first session and load data into the table. Okay, so who wants to share screen? So you want to share screen? No, let's not. Okay, I'll have somebody else share screen. Who wants to share screen? Yeah, sir. Do you want to share screen?
Okay, I'll be back.
Yes. Yasir or Yasin?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Yeah, sure, I can.
Okay.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim.
You don't have to log into admin console. Is your services running?
Yes, services are ready.
Okay, then just log into designer.
Abdul, in the meantime, I want to ask one thing.
Yeah.
The yesterday class, there's still one confusion me there about the check-in, check-out. So when we import the source and the target after that, when we give the name creating for the mapping, then at that time we have to check in. And when we do the mapping complete after control S, then we have to do checkout.
No, you're saying the opposite.
Okay. And the other thing is that
So when you
we have
import
to,
a source, when you import a target, when you create a mapping, everything will be checked out. You will have a green check mark. That means you're working on it. Once you're done with everything, you have to check in.
oh, okay. So,
So when
okay.
you check in, other people can check out and work on it.
Oh, okay. So this time, every time we have to do in this and in this, the workflow also, or?
Everywhere at 5 p.m. when you're leaving work, you will have to check in everything. So other people can check out and work on it when you're gone.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you.
See, everybody should have Powercenter open when they join the class. It's already 30 minutes and you don't have Powercenter open.
It doesn't take that much time usually.
Okay, can you stop sharing? Let me share screen.
Okay.
Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, this is the assignment question. No, I'm not going to do this assignment question. That's you guys can do it. Okay. I'll come up with my own assignment question. So the Informatica 9.6.1 server, info sheet, SRC files. Okay, let me create a folder here called Best Buy. I will have flat file called emp_best buy. I will have emp ID, name, dept ID, emp ID, name, dept ID, gender, 1 comma Abdul comma n comma m, 2 comma Ramil comma 20. I have 2 male and 2 female employees here. Okay, I want to load only male employees to the table, to my target table. So what am I going to do? I'll go to my Powercenter. Okay, I'll use shortcuts. So emp ID name, I'll increase this to 15. Kept ID, everything else. Okay, Control S. Now I want to create the structure of the target. I won't go to database and create it. I will drag and drop this one here. Double click on this. Make this as Oracle. Say apply. Say OK. And make sure that this is 15. Okay, this is all good. Control S, go to targets. Either I create the structure of the table in my database or create it from here. So create table, generate and execute. Which schema I want this in. So it created this table. Just make sure that this table exists. Okay, this table exists. So I want to load. Okay, so the first thing I'll do is I will drag and drop this into my shortcut folder. Yes. I will drag and drop this into my shortcut folder. Yes. I will exit out. I will never have mappings here. Okay, first thing I'll do is I will drag and drop this one and rename this. You don't always have to do this. Okay. Then I'll drag and drop this one. Say apply. Say okay. Okay, so let me create a mapping. M_ff_aura_best by emp. Drag and drop target. Drag and drop source. So I have male employees and female employees. I want to load only. So I'll use a filter transformation. Okay. See, I'm not using any parameters or anything right now. Okay, that will never work if you start using parameter in one shot. Okay, so I created a mapping. Now I'll create a workflow and run this. I'm not worrying about parameter table or anything. First, have something like a base code which will work. First, worry about loading the male table. male employees into the table. Don't worry about parameterizing it or so mapping and workflow shouldn't take more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So I am going to read 4 records and load 2 records into my target table. So I read 4 records and loaded 2 records. Okay, just want to make sure. Okay, now second step. I don't want to hard code M or F here. I will instead create a parameter. So I'm going to do step 2. So I'm going to call this. So far we have not learned anything new. Okay, I'm going to make this as a parameter. Whatever somebody shared screen yesterday, right? The same thing I'm doing today. Okay. Okay, so I'm not going to say gender equals to M or gender equals to F. Instead, I will just say gender equals to $gender. Okay. Now I'm going to create a parameter file. What is my folder name? I'm going to create parameter file manually, which initially we will do it, but later on we'll go back and have a table create this. Whatever you're creating manually should be done through a mapping. Okay, let me load F right now. Save. That's it. So I created a parameter file and this is step 2. So right now I have male employees. Once my workflow completes, I will have female employees. So now I read 4 records, loaded 2 records, and if I check this, I should have female employees here. If I want to load male employees now, I can control this from outside Powercenter. And control this from outside Powercenter. I don't even have to touch Powercenter.
Can we write down gender is null also?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, now I'm loading mail. Okay, so step 1 is done, created a mapping with gender hard-coded in there. Step 2 is done. I'm not hard-coding the gender. I'm instead using a parameter file. And instead using a parameter file, and I'm controlling the filter transformation from outside Powercenter. Step 3, this will not be created manually. Okay, this will be created with, so you will have a parameter table at work, like how Rob was just sharing. So I will have create table parameter, ETL parameter, or anything. Okay, the first column will be ID, then number, and then the second column will be workflow of folder name, and this one can be and then the third one so what are the things you need in your parameter file? You need the folder name, workflow name, session name. Okay, folder name, workflow name, and session name. So workflow underscore name, folder name, workflow name, session name, and folder name, workflow name, session name, parameter one, and you can call this as
Do we need file location too?
file location. No, why do you need file location? So
That's what he did in the video.
What? File name? What did you say?
In the video, he had source location and target file name.
Oh, he's
Source location.
yeah, he's parameterizing that. See, what do you need to create a parameter file? You need this, the folder name, workflow name, session name, and you need parameter one, and then folder the value one, right? So yeah, watch this. There are different ways of doing it. So I'm just going to create these. Okay. For now, I'm just going to create these. Okay. I will write insert into ETL parameter values. Every time you create a workflow and you have parameterized that, you will enter that value here in this. Okay, so you will have your start using Notepad++. It's much powerful. Okay, you will have the folder name, you will have the workflow name, folder, workflow, session, then you will have the first parameter, okay, this is enough, right? This is what we need. Okay, now this is what I'm going to do. I will create a mapping which will read data from this. I will create a mapping which will read data from this and load it into this flat file. Okay, so you will not create parameter files manually. Okay, so you will have Powercenter do that. Okay, so once again, I'll go to my shortcut folder and import the structure of source, which is a table now. Okay, you can create one flat file here. You can just call this as param file something and make this as flat file, create, done. And this one you can say param value and make this as 999. Okay, this is going to be a parameter file. So you will drag and drop this one into your regular folder. Now you log into your shortcut folder. So m underscore, you can just say ETL file creation, something like that. Okay, so that parameter file which I had here manually I created, I'm no longer going to create it manually. Okay, so this is going to be my source. This is going to be my target. So I'm reading data from a table and loading it to a flat file. Okay, so in this one I'm going to use an expression. Okay, so expression, I'm going to take a lot of classes on expression. For now, just like what is expression? Okay, what is expression? Transformation is always passive transformation. It can never be active. Okay, so what is expression transformation? I'll give you a quick outlook on it. Suppose you have data like this: emp id, name, depth id, emp id, first underscore name, last underscore name. Okay, and you want the output to be like this. You want output to be like this. Full name. So in expression, what you can do is you can combine this column and create something like this. Okay, so expression is used to perform row level operation. That means for every row there will be an output, right? So this is always a passive transformation. So you have one record going in and you have one record coming out. Don't think that there is an extra column, it is active transformation. No, one record going in, one record coming out. Suppose I have two Sam, Tom. The output will be two Sam, Tom, and then Sam hyphen Tom, something like that. Okay. So number of records going in and number of records are coming out. So it will perform row level operation. For each row, it will perform an operation. For this row, it will perform an operation. For this row, it will perform an operation. Okay. So anyways, so I will take all of this. Okay. So I have this raw data, folder name, workflow name, session name, parameter value. I'm going to use this raw data and create a parameter file. So I don't need all of this to go out. So instead I will create an output port here. I will cover this in detail. Don't worry. Right now, just for parameter file, just assume that you need something like this. Okay. Make this as 256. Okay. What is the first thing you need on the top? You need, okay, I shouldn't have deleted this. So how does a parameter file look like? Okay, how does a parameter file look like? You have the brackets, and then you have the folder name. Okay, then you have wf : and then you have the workflow name. and .st, and then you have the session name. Then you have $gender equals to F for M, whatever. Okay. So I have this. So what do I have right now? I have this. I have the workflow name. I don't have the square brackets. I don't have the .wf : right? So this is the format I want. So this is the format I want. Okay. So I don't have everything from this one. Okay, I have this development, which where is that coming from? It's coming from this folder name, right? Workflow name is coming from this, session name is coming from this, parameter one $gender is coming from this, value is coming from, F is coming from here, but I don't have the square bracket. So how do I get the square bracket? I will just use it like this and then say pipe, then say folder name. So right now I'm done with this and this. I'm done with this and this. Now I need .wf and colon, which is not there in my table, right? So I will again hard code that. Okay. Now I need the workflow name. Where is the workflow name coming from? It's coming from here. So I will put pipe and I'll double click on workflow name. So I'm done all the way till here. Okay. Now, what do I need? I need $st session name and then the colon. That is what is there in my parameter file, right? That is what's there in my parameter file, right? So I don't have it in my table. I don't have that .st colon. I don't. So again, I will hard code that. So whatever I don't have, I will hard code. Whatever I have in the columns, I will bring that in. So now I need the session name, SM Aura Best by Emp. It is present in this one. Then I need the square bracket. I don't have the square brackets here. So again, I don't have that. So I will hard code that. How many of you understood this and how many of you did not understand this?
I understand that.
I understand.
I understand also.
Yeah, sir. Did you understand this?
Yes, Abdul.
Irfan, did you understand this?
Yeah, it's making sense. Thank you.
Abdul, it's like you remember we were doing in the SQL, we were putting alter statement or with the substrings, and then we were trying to take something like a ready. It was almost the same logic that we are doing here.
In SQL, we did something similar. The employee name is Nina, and the salary is. So whatever we don't have, we hard code that, and whatever we have, we get it from the column names. Guys, once again, you should know SQL to work on Powercenter. You should be excellent in SQL. Okay. So anyway, so I'm done with this line, right? I'm done with this line. So now I need $gender equals to F in the next line. So where is $gender coming from? It's coming from parameter one. Where is the value coming from? The value one. But how do I go to the next line? Okay, how do I go to the next line? So I will type in. Yeah.
I have little confusion in this. The bracket can you please explain this one again? This one.
Did you watch the video?
No. Yes, I watched almost, but this one, the square bracket.
Yeah, he's explaining in the video, right? Where the square brackets is coming from.
Square bracket. After that, you give the pipe sign. I mean, the concave, right? So, what's the reason of this? After the square bracket, give this one.
So you're asking me the basic SQL question. Can somebody answer this? Why I'm putting this pipe?
Okay, Mustafa.
Yes.
I think it's Mustafa, right? Okay, so right now, did you see that? Like he created a table, correct? In the table, he has the folder name, workflow name. You see, workflow name, session name, parameter name, and other one's the value, correct?
Right.
This now he's gonna take this information and load it to the flat file. But when this information is gonna go to the flat file, something is missing because our we need like you remember there's a look at that. There's a green WFs. You see, look at that development dot WF. This WF is not on the table,
Right.
but we have to make it ready. That's why whatever is on the table, he's not putting in the single quote. Whatever, he's just clicking on the ports. You see, right now he shows us like a small WF. This is not on the table. So this will be in the semicolon and pipe. Okay. So it's a green one. So pipe, I mean, you see the square bracket. It's not also on the table. That's why he put it inside the single quote and pipe. It means that as a display, it's gonna bring it over here, but this is not on the table. But the folder name is already on the table. That Abdul created the table SQL, right? So folder name is ready. We have this one. We don't need to put in the single quote. This is gonna call it from the table right away. Later than you see the green color WF, it's in the single quote. So as a logical understand like that, whatever we put between the single quote, this is this is hard coding, and we don't have this one on the table. But whatever we have on the table, we don't hard coding. We don't put in this single quote. We just click. You see on the left side, you see there are ports: folder name, workflow name, session name, parameter 1, and value 1. Correct? These are the information is on the SQL table. So whenever we need folder name, he clicks on this one. He doesn't write, and we don't need to put a single quote. But after workflow name, now we need the st. This is not on the table. So we have to write it down. But whenever we hard coding, we have to put the single quote. That's it. We are just making a sentence. We need like a sentence ready, but some informations come from table. Some informations we have to do it by using the expression transformation. That's it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have email here. This is a simple example I showed during class. I want to have @gmail.com at the end of everybody. So what will I do? I will type in pipe. I'm hard coding this value @gmail.com. Do you see that? Why we use pipe?
Yeah, because Gmail is not there, and you're attaching with the pipe there.
Yeah, same thing over here. I do not have the square brackets. I do not have the .st:. Okay. So guys, you have to be good in SQL. You have to be excellent in SQL. So I don't have this. I don't have @gmail.com. So I'm going to put pipe. Concatenation is used to add something. Okay, so I don't have .st:, here. So I'm going to put pipe. So, okay, so I'm done all the way till here. Now I have to do this. So how do I go to the next line? So I can just type in cat 10. Cat 10 means, so everything on your keyboard has a value, has an ASCII value. Like lowercase a is 91, uppercase a is 67. So the value of enter, and so if I want to go to the next line, hit enter, right? So enter value is character 10. Is that clear to everyone why we use CHR10?
Yes,
it's clear. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So now I'm already in the next line, right? So CHR10 means I will go to the next line. So now I will say, now I will say $gender. Where is this $gender coming from? It is coming from this one, parameter 1. So I have parameter 1 here. Okay. Then I need, what do I need? I need the equal symbol. I don't have the equal symbol in my parameter table, right? So I think, what's your name? Turab, at your work, you're using the equal to symbol here, which is very good, right? You don't have to worry about typing the equal symbol, right? In your parameter values, you're putting an equal to symbol. In your
Actually,
parameter
they can do it. Yes, it's going to be much more easier.
It's going to be much more easier, but let's not do it right now. I already created the table, so I'll just put pipe. and then pipe, and then I need F or M. Where is this going to come from? F or M, it's going to come from the value 1. So where is the value 1? It is here. Is everything correct here? Okay. They apply. So I'm going to take this parameter and pass it here. Okay. So mapping is valid. And let me create a session here. What do I want my file to be called as? I want this file to be called as, what do I want this file to be called as? I want the output of here to be called as this one, this value. Because the second session is going to look for this value. The second session is going to look for this value, which is being generated by the first one. Okay. So no longer, I don't want these parameter files. My workflow should generate the parameter file. Okay. So I'm going to right click and say, oh, wait. Where is this file being generated? This file is being generated in target files directory. No, I don't want it here. Whatever the file which is generating, the first session is generating, I want it in this parameter file location. Okay. So start task should generate a file here. See, it generated a flat file here, and in this one, we have, is everything looking good? Square bracket development.wf colon wf dot f2 colon. Is that clear to everyone? How I'm generating the parameter file from the table? Okay, now I'm going to run the entire thing. So I'm going
Abdul,
to, yeah.
So if a company is can make the requirement that like who's gonna make, there's a file, and then as you remember, you set the trap that they were doing the gender equal. We can also do the file name .st or .wf, so we don't need to use the entire things concatenating. It's gonna be right away.
Yeah, I'll come to that. That. At his work, they're just using global. Okay, and in my work,
I see.
Yeah, he's not using the same structure. So if you look at his parameter table, he doesn't even have this folder name, workflow name. Okay, he just has this value. He has the value global, and then he assigned sequences to them. Okay, so let's not confuse with two different things. Okay, let's not confuse with two different things. Just assume that this is what it is, and later on I'll explain how he's doing at work. For that, I need to show you this source qualified transformation. Okay. Without showing this, I cannot explain what Turab is doing.
Okay.
Is that clear? Turab, do you agree? I have to show them source qualified transformation, how you can write queries in it.
Yes.
Yes, that's.
Anyways, so in my workflow, I have two sessions. The first session will read data from this parameter table and load. I deleted it. It will load up. It will create a parameter file here. It is reading data from a table and creating a flat file. The second session will read the parameter file created by this session and use it here. And it will load only male employees. Okay, let me run this one at a time. In this one, I already said only if the previous session completes successfully, then this one should run. This is how you run session after a session. This is called running sessions in sequence. One after the other. Okay, so I'm going to run this one first. So it will read data from a parameter table and create a parameter file here. See, it created a parameter file with all the values in it. Now, the second session will pick up this parameter file and load only male employees. So what kind of employees do I have in my table right now? Where is that table? Emp underscore.
Select is incorrect.
So I have all male employees. Okay, I'm going to run the entire workflow. So first, what will happen? The parameter file will run. It will create a parameter file. It will create a parameter file, or it will overwrite it. Whatever I have here, it will overwrite that. And then this one completed, and then the best by emp will run. This will pick up this parameter file created by the first session and load all male employees now. Let's see. I want to load all male employees because in my, oh, I already have male here. Okay. This is a bad example. Let me update this parameter file, a parameter table, and make this as gender F. Okay. So I will say update table set value 1 equals F. I'm not going to use a wait statement because I have only one. Oh, value underscore. Invalid identifier means you're using the wrong column. Okay, and let's do a commit. Okay, now let's see. Let's see. I have all male employees here. I want to load female employees. So in my parameter table, I put F here. So this parameter file will be generated with value F now. Okay. So let's see. I'm going to run this workflow. So you will not be creating parameter file manually. It will read data from a parameter table and load it.
Okay, Abdul, now I have a question. So we are, okay, so out at work, we will be updating the table. That's about it, that parameter table. That's what we're going to update. Now, can't the workflow read values directly from the parameter table? Why does there has to be something in the middle called parameter file,
Because
whereas
Informatica, when they created parameter concept, they said you need to have a parameter file name here and it should be present here.
Okay. I mean, it would have been simpler in my
So
opinion.
now we are loading female customers. If I want to load male customers, I will just change this from M to F. Okay. Now when I generate the parameter file, it will not load F here. It will load M. Okay. So actually, it will either overwrite or let me just delete it. Parameter file shouldn't even exist. So I'm going to run this entire workflow. It will run in sequence. First, this will generate a parameter file by reading data from this table. It will read data from this table and generate a parameter file. And then the second session will pick up the parameter file generated by the first session. Okay. So parameter file is already created. Even though I deleted it, so now it says M. Now the second session will pick up the parameter file created by this one, and it will load all. So I have female customers here, but this workflow needs, okay, it completed successfully. See, now I'm loading male. With just one update statement, my parameter file is getting changed and the data is also getting changed. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, in this one, you can have multiple parameter values. So yesterday, what did we do? What did we do? We said we parameterized a lot of other things, right? For example, let me parameterize
Stop error, file
stop on
location,
error. Okay, let me parameterize, not in this one. Let me parameterize
source file name,
source file
Connection name.
connection name. Okay,
connection name. Yeah.
let me do this one right now. Configure that.
Stop
on error.
as well, I think.
So stop on error. So I will, instead of that, I'll say this here. Okay, I don't have to create it because that's a Powercenter defined. Okay, user defined, I have to create it. User defined, I have to create it. Say double, no, not this one. $$ is what I create. No, not this one. Best by amp best by this one.
Abdul.
Yeah.
So isn't it a good idea to create this like the stop error parameter on the session level?
No, you're not creating, right? You're not going to go here and say and go to variables.
I see.
You're not creating that. See, when you create it, when you create something, it has to be $. So
okay.
So things like
yeah, Powercenter
stop on error
gives that.
Yeah, automatic. It saves you the time. See, for example, things like $PM source file dir, okay, or something else like this one. If you want to parameterize the connection, okay, this is all single $. Okay, let me not parameterize that right now. Let me parameterize stop on error. So what did I do? I said stop on error. I'm not hard coding it to 1. I instead hard coded to. I am using a parameter $PM. Powercenter defined parameter $PM session error threshold. Right. So this is what you can do. So you can add another column to this. You can add 2 more columns to this table. So how do you add columns? Alter table name. Add. What is a
Column name?
You want to add parameter 2, and so this structure will be fixed. Okay, this structure will be fixed. Every time you want to add, you won't be adding one new column. Okay, this structure will be fixed. They will say parameter 1 value 1, parameter 2 value 2, parameter 3 value 3, parameter 4 value 4. There will be like a lot of columns. Or the way Turab is doing, instead of adding columns, you can add another row here. You can add another row. One development. All of these values will be same, except you will have these 2 values different here. Okay, we will do that later. I want to show you this way right now. Add parameter 2 varchar 256. Then I want to add another. Turab, did you understand? The way I am doing and the way you're doing, both are right, but yours is slightly different because you're adding it in rows. I'm adding it in the same column here. Okay, wait. Value 2. So I want to add, what do I want to add here? I want to add $PM session error threshold, the value 1 to it. So I'm going to write an update statement, update the parameter table, set parameter underscore 2 equals Let value underscore 2 equals so now I have this one and this one, right? So I will go here. I will go. So I need to parameter file creation. Okay, I don't have those values here. So first I will have to go to my shortcut folder. I'll have to go to my shortcut folder. Either I can import this again, so I can have parameter 2 value 2, the two new columns I added. The two new columns I added, I can either do it manually here. I can just create two new columns, and actually let me. So I will copy this column and then paste it. I can copy this column and paste it here, and then call this as parameter 256. Then I can copy this column and then paste it here, and then call this as value 2. Okay, I can either do this or I can import this table again. So it has the new metadata. It has the new column structure, right? So two ways. So I can either import this table again. It will override the existing table and have parameter 2 value 2. Or if the changes are very small, just make the changes locally here. Okay, I just made the changes locally here. Okay, so now let me go back to my regular folder. It will still have, it will not have the new columns which I just created. So what do? I will log out and then I will log in again. So now do you see parameter 2 and value 2? So I'm going to drag and drop this one. So I'm going to drag and drop this one. So I want to have stop on error. I want to have stop on error on the next line, right? So what will I do? So right now my parameter file has something like this. So now I want to say
chart 10.
Yeah. So next third line, I want to say $PM session error threshold equals to 1. So again, I will do the same thing, whatever we did. Okay. So what did I do here? So after the end of this, I will just take this, and then I will take this, and I will say that's it. So look at my parameter file. It only has one parameter here. Okay, let me test it out if it will load the other one. Okay, let me refresh this. I'm running only the parameter file creation. I want to test it out if it's working fine. We'll take a break after this. Okay, let me see if the parameter file has, yeah, it created this by default. Okay, now I'm going to run this entire workflow in one shot. Is that clear?
Yes.
You can parameterize the connection, you can parameterize the, so like all the things we parameterized yesterday, the DB connection, the table name, the schema name, everything you can parameterize. Just clear to everyone. If you want to make stop on error as 2, you will simply write update table set value 2 equals to 2. Okay, now your parameter file will have stop on error as 2. Okay, so if I rerun this one will get updated and you will have 2 here. So it will ignore the first bad record and load the second and fail at the second bad record. It will ignore the first bad record and fail at the second bad record. Okay, so let me just rerun this parameter file creation. So right now my parameter file has stop on error as 1. Now see what happens. See, stop on error is automatically 2. Without even touching Powercenter, I made stop on error as 2. Because I'm not hard coding 1 or 2. I'm not hard coding 1 or 2 here. I said stop on error is this. Then you can parameterize all the things. Yesterday we parameterized this, you can parameterize this, you can parameterize this, you can parameterize the, if you're loading data, the same data, if you're loading the same structure table, if you're loading data into another table which has the same structure as this table, you can just put the target table name here. And then you can parameterize this. You can parameterize a lot of things. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let's take a 10 minutes break and then we will be back. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Somebody is trying to join, right? Who is that person?
I think it's Mustafa.
Okay. I see him on the call. I see his name. Okay.
Yes, I'm again logging with the Mac actually.
Okay.
Before it was not. I'm again, yes.
Is this who is this Wasim? Is it? There are two Wasim. Okay, he's trying to join. So I see Wasim on the call. Is that which Wasim is that? Okay. Anyways, we can proceed. Okay. So let's move ahead. Okay, can somebody share screen? I'm tired now. I want somebody else to share screen. So let's look at expression transformation. Okay, expression transformation is very, very important. I'm going to take at least 1 week of classes on expression transformation. Even that won't be enough. But so can somebody share screen? Okay, so Turab, I'll show you your way of doing things later, okay? When we cover source qualifier transformation. But for now,
Sure. I'm just sharing the screen.
Yeah. Okay. Let's.
Abdul,
Yeah.
when you show him, I also want to see that.
Yeah. I'm going to do it in the class only.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to do it in the class only. Okay. I'm going to show you. He's using those UDFs, right? I'm going to show you that UDF also. Okay. I'm going to. So expression is very. I need at least 4 classes. So probably Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Next 1 week, we are going to be working on expressions only. Okay. So Turab, go to your source directory and create a folder called expression. Create a folder called expression. In this one, create a flat file. Call this as emp_expr. Okay, emp ID, first underscore name, last underscore name, and depth ID. Just enter some data here. Yeah, enter some data here. Once again, expression is a passive transformation. If you insert 10 records into the expression, only 10 records will come out, but every record will have some operation performed on it. That's why it's called row level operation, and it's a passive transformation.
Turab.
Yes.
You have very unhappy screen. Please change this black screen to the white, man.
No, that is how a developer uses. They all have this dark.
So unhappy, so boring.
Okay, I'll do that later.
For you, maybe.
I'm good with that.
Maybe Turab is an unhappy person. He's a sad.
It's for sure.
What's your last name?
SALAMOV.
Turab, Abdul knows better than you. SALAMOV. After L, there's A.
There is an H in my name, in my last name. KHADER. No, before, after K. No, after K.
Make sure Ali has his name correct.
That's right. That's correct. He's my brother. That's by the way. Okay, I think it's enough. Three
This is
record.
good. Yeah. Save. Actually, hold on. You entered one more row, so make sure that you hit the backspace at 5. You have 5 lines here. You shouldn't have 5 lines. Place your cursor at 5 and hit the backspace. Yeah, hit the backspace.
Like this?
Yeah, save. Now you have only 4 lines.
Okay.
What about gender?
No, we are not using gender. So I'll tell you what my requirement here is. Okay. So yeah, hold on, wait. So I have employee ID, first name, last name, and debt ID. In my target table, I want employee ID, first name, last name, debt ID, and full name. I want full name. So full name should be a combination of first name and last name. That's my requirement. Okay. So yeah, go ahead. At work, they will give you this file, and you will be asked to load data into the target table. So you will import the structure of source, structure of target in the shortcut folder.
As I see that this expression usually works for the concatenating, like
it's used for a lot of
pipes.
things. It is used for a lot of things, but yeah, we are going to get started with the basic, and then we'll move on to the complicated stuff. We will be doing error handling as well, which is very important. No, go back. Expression, the second folder.
This one?
Yeah, enter that. You have the flat file in this one.
Oh yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, make sure that the name. Click on name. Click on first name, last name. Increase the values there. Click on.
I did it.
Oh, okay, you already did. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, finish. Control S. Okay, now import the structure of the target. Since you never created the structure of target in database, we will use a shortcut here. You will drag and drop, double click on this, go to columns, and click on 4 and create a brand new column. Call as full name. Full underscore name. It should be a string and make it 256. Say apply, say okay. So this will make you lazy, but Powercenter gives you this option, so use it. Oracle, say apply, say okay, Control S. Targets, generate and execute. Okay, generate and execute. You created a schema like you have at work.
Say again?
You created a schema dev like you have at work. So you can execute your, okay, very good. Okay, Control S. Okay, make sure that the table exists on the database. Just quickly test it out. Make sure that table got created. Okay. So you have emp underscore expr. Okay, don't keep so many windows open, okay? It will slow down your computer. Okay, anyways, let's proceed. So drag and drop to regular folder. See how his folder looks like. Only the mapping he's working on is checked out. Everything else is checked in. That's how it should be. Otherwise, be prepared to receive calls at 2 or 3 in the night from India saying that you need to work on this. Can you please check in? So you have to wake up 2 or 3 in the night, log in, check in, and then go back to sleep. You won't be able to go back to sleep. They will say, since you're already up, can we work on this? You may or may not rename it. It's up to you, but I rename my shortcuts.
EMP, no, flash file, FF, or EMP. See.
Saurabh, are you comfortable with Powercenter?
Yeah, this is a similar, I mean, simple things.
Yeah, so right now we're just doing, okay, so hold on. So drag and drop all the columns. No, drag and drop all the columns from the expression. So a lot of times people ask me, like, I'm very confused which transformation to use when, right? I'm sure you guys have the same question. There are so many transformations on the top. How do we know which one? Hold on. So how do we know which transformation to use when? Okay. So if you want to filter out transformation, if you want to filter out data, you will use filter transformation. If you want to route data, you will use a router transformation. If you want to sort data, you will use sorter transformation. Okay. If you want to perform some operation for every single row, then you use expression. In this, we have to perform full name. We have to calculate full name for every single row, right? For every single row, I have to perform some operation. So in this case, you will use expression transformation. Is this clear to everyone?
It is
now,
clear.
in my source, I have emp ID, first name, last name, and depth ID. In my target, I have emp ID, first name, last name, depth ID, and full name. So where will the full name come from? It's not there in my source, right? It's not there in my source. So where will this full name come from? Okay, so double click on your expression.
Transformation.
Okay, create a brand new and call this as O underscore full underscore name, because this is not coming from source. O lowercase and everything, and then full name. So why do we put O underscore? I'll tell you in a moment. Okay, make this a string 256. Wait, you're going too fast. See, that's the reason I don't like people who are working to share screen. Okay, so click that input port again. Check that input port again. Okay, so you will create a brand new port here which doesn't exist, because you are going to create the full name on your side. The source system will only provide you emp ID, first name, last name, and depth ID. Okay, full name is not coming from source, so you will create this on your own end. Okay, so you create an output port. Why do you create an why does it say O underscore? Because it's not coming from source. It's not coming from source. So uncheck the I. Only the columns which are coming from source should have I. Okay, now go into the expression. Okay, get rid of this and go to ports. Double click on first name and then click on pipe on your screen. Okay, and then double click on last name and say validate. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. Say okay. And drag and drop this to the target. Create a workflow and run it.
Can I create generate workflow?
Sure.
Control S, guys.
He did Control S. So he's using a shortcut to create a workflow. Okay. So you don't have to go to designer, workflow manager, and do all those things. Good to know these shortcuts.
Do you have to disconnect and connect back again?
Yeah, because it needs to be refreshed. Is it this one?
Mm-hmm.
Go to mappings tab. Yeah, it's there. I see an expression there. Okay, perfect. So you don't have to create a workflow manually. You can use, there is a template. There is a template which will let you create it. Okay, use that shortcut if you would like. Okay, go to targets and do truncate table option. Stop on error. Okay, I'll show you another shortcut. Every time you I'll show it. Do you know about config? Do you know about default config options, Turab? So every time, so every time you create a session, you don't have to select truncate table option. You don't have to select stop on error as one. It will automatically do that for you. So you have to do it one time, and every time. So you over there on your screen, do you see the default session config? No, don't click there. Do you see default? Go up.
This one?
Go up.
Config name.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah.
So you can create a session which will have target table always truncate selected, and then you can have stop on error always selected one. All those things you can create a new session here and select those properties. So every time you select a session, you don't have to always select those boxes.
No, I didn't know this.
I'll show that later. Okay.
Okay.
These are all like advanced level, so you don't need to know that right now. Okay, it will save you some time. You don't always have to say truncate table option.
Yeah, stop and error can save time, but truncate, you don't do the always truncate.
Yeah, you never. Yeah, I will tell you when you don't do a truncate. And for now, you always select the truncate table option. Okay, run the workflow.
Abdul, so this default one is gonna belong to each workflow, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 3 records and you loaded 3 records because the expression is passive transformation. Okay, now do select star on your table. Okay, do you see the full name? Is that clear to everyone?
No space.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm going to come to that for, in a moment. Okay, so is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
How we calculate the full name? And don't get confused. This is passive transformation. Don't say that in my source I have 3 columns, in my target I have 4 columns. This is active transformation. No. You have 3 records. So active and passive transformation is based on the number of records. It's not based on the number of columns. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, I need to see a space between them. How would I do it?
The way how we did this, the enter, you remember, probably it has his own code. We have to put it there. Like
No.
previous before the thing, how we did the new line with the enter.
No, we can put over there like a space and 2 pipe. That's it.
That's what we did in SQL also, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and concatenation we did that.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you don't want it in the next line, right?
Okay, I wanted to invent
Validate.
something.
That's it.
Oh wait, hold on. You're right actually. Okay, guys. So what on your keyboard? What is so enter is cat 10, right? So space is something equal to something. So you will have to look up the ASCII. Okay, let's do this and let's go back to what he was saying. So he was not wrong. So he is right. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. Say okay. Control S. Refresh your session. Refresh, yeah, and run the workflow. So once again, 3 records coming in, 3 records coming out. Now you will see spaces. Is that clear to everyone? Okay. Now going back to somebody asked that question, right? So instead of typing in pipe single quote space single quote, you can use char, I don't know the value. So you will have to look up the ASCII value. So can you go to Google and check for ASCII values? Because I know for enter it's just say ASCII values.
For what?
For just say ASCII value table. That's
Space for space.
No, we'll look at the complete table. Hold on 1 second. Where is lowercase a? Lowercase a is 91 or something. Uppercase a is 67.
Lowercase is 97. Is over there, all the way
Did
down.
you see it?
Yes, last column. Look at the last column on the top.
Yeah, on the last column on the top. So look at that. 97.
Yeah, 97 is the A.
No, but the space, you see the 32. Can you see
32.
the 32? It's space.
Yes, add 32. Left side, on the left. Go left.
Middle column.
Go up. Yeah, that is one. So you can, instead of the single quote space single quote, you can say char 32. Okay, let's put a plus symbol, char 43. Let's try that, char 43. Okay, let's put a plus symbol between. Oh, actually, let's put a hyphen. Char 45 is a hyphen, right? Scroll down. Do you see char 45?
Yeah. Minus. It's minus.
Up.
This one, yeah.
Let's put a minus between first name and last name. So char 45. Yeah. So go back. Type in that entire thing again. Yeah, you can comment out your code if you don't want to delete it. Okay, between the pipes.
Char 45.
No, let's not put a hyphen. Let's get rid of that single quote again, and then just type in chr. Like how we did chr 39, let's do chr 45. Brackets. 45 should be in brackets. And then put a pipe now. Okay, you can either put the ASCII value or okay.
Okay. Since we had space in front of the last name, is it going to give us double space?
Space in front of last name. Where is space in front of last
name? No, there was. He's right. He left a space between the last name. He's asking about this one.
Yeah.
Oh, he did not leave space. Okay, can you go back?
After the pipe.
Yeah.
After the pipe.
After the pipe, it's not going to count. Okay. After the pipe, put some more spaces. That doesn't make any difference. No, after the pipe, before last name. Yeah, you can put as many spaces as there, it doesn't matter. Put as many spaces over there, it doesn't matter. Put as many spaces before last name, it doesn't matter.
It will take, I think, only in the pipes.
Only within the pipes, it will take.
Within the pipe, yeah.
Yeah. So get rid of the spaces between the pipes. For now, we'll come back and So the question was, if there are spaces before the last, this one doesn't matter. You can put as many spaces as you want. Okay, it's still not going to count it. It will just count it as last name. Say okay.
Say please okay.
Say okay. Control S. So you can either put the actual ASCII value, or you can put the actual value or the ASCII value. Clear? And you can put as many spaces as you want after the first name or before the last name. It doesn't matter. Between the pipe, it matters. Is this clear to everyone? Clear?
Yes.
Now I want to see. Sorry, somebody asked a question. Okay, now I want to see. Hold on 1 second. So I want to see the full name in uppercase. All of the full name in uppercase. How would you do it?
Upper.
Yeah, just use the word upper before first name. Write in upper.
I think it's the same query in the SQL.
Same, exactly same thing.
Same.
Okay, get rid of the one bracket. Yeah, and no, not that bracket. Not that bracket. No.
Before first name, yeah.
Yeah, put a bracket and get rid of that bracket and put it at the end. Yeah, say validate. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. Okay. So now you know how much manipulation you can do with expression. You can do like tons of manipulation with expression. And if you know expression, you will know Powercenter. Is that clear? See, he did not type anything, right? That's the beauty of Powercenter. You don't have to type even a single word. It's all double click, uncheck a box, check a box, right click, right? Drag and drop.
So Abdul, expression will go before any other filter if you have.
Not necessary. So expression is used when you want to perform an operation for every single line, for every single row which is coming in. So in this, for every single row which is coming in, he's converting to uppercase, concatenating and putting a single quote, putting a pipe, putting a hyphen between the first name and last name, right? So it doesn't, this can come anywhere in the script, in the data flow. Okay. Filter should come as close to source as possible. Remember that. You don't want to drag unwanted records throughout the mapping and then get rid of it before the target, right? Is that clear?
Yes.
In expression, there's so many things you can do here. Okay, right now I want first name in uppercase and last name in lowercase. How would you do it? I want first name in uppercase, then hyphen, and then last name in lowercase.
So we're gonna use the brackets between the uppercase of the name and then lower before the other one.
Very good. Yep. Validate. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. Say okay. Control S. You can do tons and tons of manipulation. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, let's go back. Guys, is this clear? Whatever we did in expression so far. Okay. I want to get for first name. Guys, there is some disturbance. There is some background sounds. Okay. So, okay, my question right now is, I want to convert first name to uppercase. I want last name in lowercase. I want a hyphen in between, which he's already doing. Very good. Now, I want first name, I want to convert to uppercase, and I only want the first three characters, like ABD and TUR, only the first three characters. How would you
reg match?
No.
Substring?
Very good. You will use a substring. Okay, get rid of that bracket. And after first name, yes. What will you type here? What will you type here? 1, 3. You guys are still confused with substring.
I think substring and init cap also.
Why would you type an init cap? My question was convert everything to uppercase and grab the first three characters.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought that.
Okay, that's it. You guys are still confused with substring and instring. Run the workflow. Once again, if you know SQL, you'll know Powercenter. So you grab the first three characters. For full name, I want the last three characters. Oh, sorry, for the last name, I want the last three characters. How would you do it?
Again, substring.
Very good.
-1, 3.
No, 1 second. Substring.
No.
1, 2, 3.
No.
Abdul,
I would
what
be
was the
disappointed.
question?
I would be disappointed if you guys don't do this.
Abdul, what was the question?
Okay, Turab, hold on. Don't do it, okay?
Abdul, what was the question?
-1, 3.
Hold on, listen to my question. I want to convert first name to uppercase and grab the first three characters, which you already did. For the last name, I want to convert everything to lowercase, which you're already doing it. Then I want to grab the last three characters. Last three characters only. How would you do it?
Yeah, substring, and I guess starting from -1 and 3.
Okay, let's do that. That is wrong, but let's do it. Wasim is right. -3, 3.
-3, 3 it should be.
Guys, why are you guys confused?
Oh, no, you got
Why
it.
are you confused with substring? -3, 3. That's the answer I'm looking for. Validate. Say okay. Run the workflow. Watch the SQL recording if you're confused with substring and instring. I took 2 classes actually, not 1. So I'm grabbing the last 3 characters. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, for the last name, I want to grab the last 3 characters and I want to convert the first character to uppercase. For example, I want to convert D to uppercase, A to uppercase, M to uppercase, and everything else should be lowercase.
Then put the before that substitute upper again.
No. Upper will convert everything to uppercase.
Init cap.
Yes, correct. Get rid of lower and put init cap.
Init cap.
No, you have to get rid of L. Yeah, init cap. Okay, say validate. So you can see how much data manipulation you're doing here.
He didn't save, I think that's why.
Did you do Control S on your mapping?
I don't think so.
No, he didn't do the apply. He just said okay.
Say
No,
okay. Control S. Say okay. Say
And say apply, say okay.
Control S. Okay, refresh your session. I think he did. Okay, run your workflow. Check your data. Okay, can someone tell me why it's not doing it? Go back to your code. There is a simple fix for this. Can someone tell me why it's not doing this? You will have to replace substring with init cap, and init cap is substring. So you have to replace, init cap. Init cap will come outside, substring will come inside.
Yeah.
I think you're missing init cap. Place your cursor before init cap and hit enter. Hit enter. Okay, now init cap substring last name.
This will give us let's say Ali. I mean, no, Ali. The Ali is the letter ADA, and then we'll do the init cap.
Okay, why is this not validate? Click on validate. Look at the error message.
No, I think it's not correct. Hold on.
Yeah, it's not correct.
I think before was correct, I think, substring init cap, but we were missing over there something. Just take that, please.
I think when you use init cap, why is this incorrect?
What about brackets?
Yeah.
We have one bracket for this, and then one here, closing here, and the subster has two also. Not about the bracket.
No, but you see after this, the
Last name, first name.
subster upper in the first row, like there is one, but we didn't close that one. No, at the end you closed. Okay.
Turab, I think before it was right.
No, put substring outside and init cap inside.
Subster should be outside, I think.
And then put init cap inside. Okay, validate this. This will work.
Yeah.
Go ahead, it's gonna work, I think.
It worked.
But it will work, but we will miss this letter anyway.
Click OK. Let's run debugger. Let's see how the data is flowing. Control S. Refresh your session also. Refresh your session before you run debugger. Maybe you might not have any. Yeah, there is changes. Okay, run your debugger now. If you're not sure why the data is flowing in a weird way, why data is not flowing the right way you wanted, always run debugger. You don't have to depend on anyone. Can you check my code and see why it's doing that? You can figure out.
That person will also run debugger anyway.
Okay, hold on one second. Hold on 1 second here. Do you see the full name is up? It's getting converted to uppercase. No, 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 on the right side. Yeah, do you see the O underscore full name? See, it's not getting converted to init cap is not working.
Yes,
Yeah,
because you see
no.
ABD also is not working full name on the left side.
Yeah.
DER.
How will it work? Because init cap is getting applied on the full last name, and then you're taking the last 3 characters. So that init cap is the
I know
very first.
it's converting K to uppercase, and then we are dropping that off. So that is the reason. So I want the last 3 characters, and I want the first character. So stop the debugger. We already know that this is a problem.
So init cap has to be outside.
Yeah, init cap has to be outside, and substring has to be inside. So go back to your expression. So why? I don't know what's the problem here. Can you
I
comment
think
out?
we can do like that. We can do the init cap last name separate, but subster last name separate, like 2 separate thing. In that case, like after subster, it will take it.
Yeah, you can do it in 2 separate ways, but I want it in one single line. I don't want to do it in 2 separate lines. Because then I would have to have one more expression, right?
Turab, can you please do it just the init cap without subster? See if it works in here. Yeah, please try the just init cap.
No, this one doesn't make sense, right? Because K is already uppercase. He has to change the source data because it's already uppercase.
Ramal, you know, it takes we are taking last 3 digit, 3 like letters, but he's init capping the first letter, so that's the problem.
And also this one doesn't make sense. Hold on, see, do you see the last name? It's already init cap only. Do you see the last name? Not there, on the left side. On the left side.
The first name, last name. You see first name also with the init cap, last name also with the init cap. So
it's already init cap.
Yeah, it's already init cap.
So go to your source and make Kader, K, Ali, and make all of that as lowercase. Let's see if it's working as init cap now. No, not that. The first letter of the last name. No. K. Yeah, make that as lowercase. Make A as lowercase. Okay, save and close. Okay. And now run your workflow. See, now init cap is working because init cap will convert the first character. So there is a way, but I don't want to show it right now. Okay. I mean, I'll show it, but I'll cover this later. Okay, go back to your expression. Okay, if you guys don't understand this, it's okay. But I just want to show you that it can be done. Okay, double click on this. Create another, cancel this. Cancel this. Click on 5. Create a brand new port. And call this as v underscore last name. We'll create a variable here, v underscore last name. And make and call this as string.
String 256.
Yeah, and create this as a variable port, not as an output port. Okay, and move this up. Move this one up because this is calculated, and then we will use this in the full name. Okay, in this one, calculate the last 3 of last name. Last 3 of last name. So you will say substring of last name 1, 3, minus 3, 3. So we are calculating. So remember, I told you it can be done in 2 separate steps. Okay, we are calculating the last 3 of the last name. Very good. Click OK. Now we will use this last name and go into the full name and get rid of last name. So we already calculated the last 3. So go to
Put
force.
the fill off.
Yeah. Say validate. Say OK. Say OK. Say apply. So we can do it in 2 separate steps. I will cover variables in one class, okay? So don't worry about this. See, now it's converting the first letter of the last into uppercase.
Yes, Abdul, it is working like this, but I think there should be a way for it to work with substring and init cap together.
Yeah, try it out. Try it out and
Yes, I will.
okay. So I showed you a way, but I want it in one. I don't want to create multiple variable ports and output ports. So what did I do here? I created a variable port and I'm storing that value. I'm calculating the last 3. Then I'm using that variable in the output port. Is that clear?
Yes.
I'll cover this later.
Yes.
Surab, I think you understood this.
Yeah. We always help us. Variables.
Yeah, variables is very important. Okay. There is a difference between expression variable and mapping variable. Cancel this. Go to mappings on the top. You have parameters and variables here. This is different. Okay. Create a new parameter. We already know what is a parameter, right? So on the right side, you see variable. This, so this variable is different than expression variable. Okay. I'll cover this later. Anyways, okay. Let's move on. Is this clear to everyone so far? Like expression can be used to perform bunch of data manipulation. Okay, now move on. So go back to your source directory. And create another flat file in expression folder called emp_salary. No, create a brand new. So emp_salary. And in this one, you will type in emp ID, name, depth ID, and salary.
Name?
Emp ID, name, depth ID, salary. So 1 comma, Abdul comma, give some salary.
How much? 10,000?
Sure. And mine should be always highest.
Put round $1.
I know for Ali, you'll give $1.
Yeah, right.
Okay, enter like 6, 7 values here. And mix it up like 7,000, 9,000, 1,000. Mix it up.
$1.
Yeah, put 20,000 left.
And I want one value less than 5,000.
Okay.
Okay, the first one make it 11,000, please. The first one make it, or 10,001. I want something greater than 10,000. Yeah, make it 11,000. The second one make it either greater than or make it greater than 5,000. The second one make it 6,000. The second one. Or okay, make it less. Yeah. Okay. Now I want less. This one should be less than 5. No, this one should be less than 5. Okay. I have one salary greater than 10,000. Yeah, perfect. This is good. Okay, save and close. My requirement right now. Okay, my requirement is I want to calculate the financial status. I want to calculate the financial status of each employee. If salary is greater than 10,000, I want to see rich. If salary is between 5,000 and 10,000, I want to see middle class. If salary is less than 5,000, I want to see poor. So how would you do this in the database? in SQL?
Case.
You use either case or decode.
Decode case.
Yes. In Powercenter, you cannot use case. You can use decode or if statement. Okay. So once again, if you know SQL, you know this.
It was EMP salary.
Yeah, not this one. I think you imported in your regular folder.
It was EMSAL.
No, you imported in your regular folder. MSAL.
Oh.
Okay, that's okay.
Should I go?
No, that's okay. Import the target in the regular folder only.
Okay.
Minimize shortcut folder. So guys, don't make this mistake, okay? You'll have to delete, and I don't want to do all that right now. Okay, drag and drop that to the target. Okay, convert this to Oracle table. And I want you to add a new column to this called financial underscore status for each employee. The moment somebody says for each record, can you calculate this? Then you have to use expression. For each row, calculate this, you have to use expression. No, not total salary, financial status. The financial status is rich if salary is greater than 10,000. It's middle class if it's between 5,000 and 10,000. It's poor, less than 5,000. So financial underscore status. And make this as varchar to 100. This is not coming from source. This is not coming from source, so we have to calculate it here. Create a mapping now. Oh, sorry, you have to create this table in database, right? Check if the table exists in database. So we will cover expressions till next Sunday. Okay, drag and drop source, drag and drop target. And we know we have to use expression because we have to calculate something for each employee. So get an expression, minimize everything, close the window on the left side. Get an expression, drag everything and dump it into the expression, minimize source definition, minimize source qualifier. You don't need that anymore. Okay. No, do right click and arrange all, not iconic, just say arrange all. Okay, now where will financial status come from? It's not coming from source, right? So in your expression, you will create an output port called financial underscore status. Okay, I'll show you a shortcut. You don't have to create an output port. You don't have to type anything. Drag and drop financial status from target into the expression. Double click on it. Make this as an output port because it's not coming from source. Yeah, very good. Put O underscore first and then make this as an output port. Check, yeah, and check input port. Is this clear to everyone? So now you can map it from the expression to the target. Now we have to write some code there. Okay, so how will you type in there? Over here, you will type in, you can either type in decode, go to all functions. You see decode there, right? Yeah, decode doesn't work with ranges between 5,000. You have to use a shortcut. You have to truncate. You have to divide it by 5,000. And if it's value between 0 and 1, remember what we did?
Yes, we rounded that, and
yes.
It has to equal something, not bigger or less.
Very good. You cannot use ranges for that. So I never used decode in my life. In either SQL or Powercenter, because it's useless. It's useless. You cannot use ranges. So in SQL, I use case. In Powercenter, you cannot use case. You will have to use if statement. So type in IIF. Okay, over there, go to ports, and then say salary greater than. No, inside the bracket. Inside the bracket. Type in greater than 10,000, comma, single quotes, and then rich. Okay, place your cursor after the single quote and put a comma. No, inside, stay inside the bracket. You will never come out of that bracket. Put a comma, hit enter, type in IIF, and put a bracket before IIF. Put a bracket before IIF.
Before IIF?
Before IIF, put a bracket. So we will write an if statement within the if statement. Now inside the if statement, inside the brackets, type in salary, go to port sal between 5,000 and 10,000. Comma. No, inside the bracket. Inside the bracket. Comma, and then you say middle class. Okay, then come outside. Okay, and put a comma there and hit enter. Open another bracket and type in IIF. The last one you don't have to type. You can just use it like an else. So bracket open. And then says salary less than 5,000. You don't have to type sal. Okay. Anyways, you can double click. Okay. Sal less than 5,000. Single comma and then single quotes port. Okay, and then you have to close all the brackets again. How many brackets do you open?
1, 2, 3. Yeah.
You're missing one more.
Missing one. Let's put the
validate. Okay, hold on. It's giving an error message. It's giving an error. Read the error message. Okay, you cannot use the word between. Between C. You cannot use the word between. So you have to say salary greater than 5,000 and salary less than 10,000. Say greater. Put greater there. And salary less than. Okay, now validate. Click OK. So it's saying there is a problem there.
I think he put one extra
bracket, right?
Bracket at the end.
Yeah, get rid of it. Validate. No, it's saying there is something.
No, there is after reach. You do have a dot.
Is it a dot or a comma? No, that's a comma.
I think
right?
Comma.
Oh no. That comma should be inside the bracket.
Inside the bracket.
Yeah, he needs to remove another bracket from the end.
Hold on 1 second. Everybody, hold on. Okay, after middle class, you have a bracket and then a single quote, right? Get rid of that single quote. Get rid of that bracket. Get rid of that comma. Everything has to be say within the brackets. Yeah, inside the bracket, put a comma now. Look at the first line. You had a comma before the bracket. Okay. Now validate. Okay. Now.
Because first line also has to be in the same way, right? In the bracket.
Click OK. Hold on 1 second. Okay. If salary rich. Get rid of the. Hold on 1 second. If salary is greater than 10,000 rich. Okay, get rid of the comma.
Abdul,
Hold on one
Abdul.
second. After
We
rich,
don't need a comma here.
yeah, you don't need that comma there. Okay, go on the first
No.
line. There is after rich, there is a comma, right? Get rid of that comma after rich.
And put the bracket.
Yeah, that. Yeah, hit delete button. Okay, place your cursor after the comma, after the bracket, and hit enter. Yeah, hit enter now. Okay, if salary greater than no. If salary greater than 10,000 rich. If salary greater than, you need to have a salary greater.
Okay. See.
Just look at
count as expression.
Abdul.
Expression 1 as expression.
Abdul.
Yeah.
Can you please put the two brackets at the first? If start with a bracket, later than one bracket for the salary greater than 10,000 rich, then close it. Go to the second if. No, first salary, first one. So look, go to the first one, go to the top. Yeah. Turab. Look, here we start like if we open the bracket for the all process. Later, then I think we should open the second bracket for the salary. Yes, look at that now. Because at the end, we close the bracket for the first salary. I think there should be two brackets at that first.
No, that's wrong.
No, go to the first place.
You didn't do whatever Ramil says.
Yes.
You did completely different thing. First, if you write it first if, just put there one more bracket. First if. It's not your first if. That's second one. Yeah, put your bracket. Yes.
One bracket. Now close the bracket after
reach.
After reach. Close it. Now put the comma. Okay, so hold on. So we open the second if, salary greater than, and this one, middle class, we closed. And Turab.
No, that's not right.
Turab. Put the second bracket after the middle class.
Okay, let's do the by one by. Okay.
Okay, so look.
Okay. If salary is greater than.
Okay, validate.
Validate. Okay, now second one.
Now the second one, go inside the bracket.
Inside the bracket,
and put a comma. Put a comma. And hit enter.
I think we don't have to type.
Hold on. Hit enter. Okay, type in IIF. Bracket open. Sal greater than 5,000 and sal less than 5,000, less than 10,000, comma, and then say middle class. Okay, now after this is also good. So we need to have one more. So after middle class and comma, after middle class, you always have to stay within the bracket. You will never go outside the bracket. After middle class, put a comma there. Okay, hit enter. Type in IIF, sal. So you don't have, this is optional. You can just say poor here, or you can, we'll do it this way with salary less than 5,000, sal less than 5,000, comma, and then just type in poor. Okay, and you need to have one more bracket at the end, right? Validate this first. Validate this. Okay, perfect.
I open already. Okay, what was the missing? You see, before the if, we have a bracket here. Okay, so we shouldn't put the bracket.
Yeah, you should. Everything is straightforward. Okay. Okay, create a workflow and run it. This is called nested if, nested IIF. Okay, check your data now. That clear? So anybody whose salary greater than 10,000 will be rich. Anybody whose salary is between 5 and 10,000 will be middle class. Anybody whose salary is less than 5,000 will be poor. Clear?
Yes.
Okay. Now I'll do one last exercise and then I'll end the class. So, okay, create another structure of target. Go to Powercenter. Go to targets. Open your targets. So drag and drop your source, the same source into the target. So we will read the data from the same file and load it to another table and say rename. It is saying you already have a table with this name. So emp underscore sal underscore, just say time. Just say time, create okay. Double click on this and create a brand new column. Call this as time inserted. I want to find out the time when this record was inserted in database. So time underscore inserted. And this is going to be date field. Or it's going to be date time. Say apply, say okay. Control S. Convert this to Oracle and execute the database, execute the DDL. Close, Control S. No. Why? Wait, hold on. No, that is incorrect. I don't want timestamp. I want date. Go back to your Powercenter. Double click on that. Change that. No, I don't want timestamp. I want date. So do you see date field? Yeah. Now say apply. Say okay. And execute the generate and execute again. And select the drop table. Select the drop table. No, yeah, it will drop the table and re-execute. Say close. Control S and check your table in database now. Okay. Now create a mapping. For each row, I want to know when the record got inserted. So you have to use expression. And if there is a column in target which is not coming from source, you have to use an expression. M underscore FF underscore aura underscore EMP underscore time. Click OK. Drag and drop source, drag and drop the same source. You will not import the source again because it's already present in your Powercenter. So I can use the same source for multiple mappings. Drag and drop all the columns from source qualifier into the target. Map everything from this expression to the target. Now there is one column, yeah, which is not coming from source. So make this as an output port and put O underscore in the front. So I want to calculate the time. So you can either type in sysdate here. You can either get rid of this and type in sysdate or type in sysdate and say validate. So it will, this one will work, or click OK. Click, no. Or there is another shortcut. You don't have to type anything. Go to, yeah, click on that. Go to variables. Variables. Yeah, no, on the top. And go to built-in. You can type in session start time. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Yeah, scroll all the way to the bottom. Yeah, you either have sysdate or you can do time. Okay, get rid of everything on the right side. And you can type on any of the options. Delete everything on the right side. Yeah. And just double click on any. Okay, say validate. Say okay. Say okay. Say apply. Say okay. Control S. Now map this to the target. Control S. Okay, run your work.
Abdul,
Yeah.
do we have to generate the workflow from the mapping due to the expression, or it's optional?
It's optional. You can do it for any. It has nothing to do with expression.
No, I know, but from here again, he's coming over here, refresh and doing. So why we do like extra steps over there?
So you don't have to click on create workflow, give the workflow name, go to the setting and create a session here. You don't have to
we skip the create section, right?
Yeah, the create session and create workflow part you'll skip. It's automatic. It's a shortcut.
Oh, so it means we use this one at the first when we want to try to generate the new session, right? Or new workflow.
Yeah, you don't have to create a session and then create a workflow. Automatically Powercenter will do that for you.
I see.
Okay. So I don't want to see the time as that. I want to see with the complete hours, minutes, and seconds. Can you execute the alter session command, which I gave previously? Do you have that saved?
No.
I gave it a few times. Who has that alter session command?
I have, but it's in my computer. It's a alter sysdate. I remember this one.
Okay.
I don't need it. I have it.
No. Don't mess with that. Okay. Yeah. So let me give you this. Yeah, you can either change the NLS over there, or you can execute a statement.
You have it on the.
Yeah, I already pasted on the group chat.
Okay.
Yeah, execute that. And do select star from this table. And just refresh it.
Do we have to start the workflow again, or we don't have to do it?
No, you don't have to start the workflow again.
Okay.
Okay, this is in dev schema, right? That's why it's saying table or view does not exist. So put dev. So if you're in HR schema and you want to look at table in dev schema, then. So now you see the entire hours, minutes, seconds, date, month, and year. Okay. Is that clear to everyone? What happens if you run the workflow again?
It's going to change the time.
Yeah, it's going to change the time. Okay. So I'm covering an interview question right now. No, run the select statement. Take time. In the HR schema. So previously it was 352, now it's 354, right? So the interview question is, what is the difference between parameter? So, okay. What is the difference between parameter and variable? Okay. So parameter is something which you type in to make the mapping flexible. And so suppose if you say $$ gender equals to M, it will always remain gender equals to M, even if you run the workflow 10 times also. Whereas sysdate over here is a variable. It varies. Every time you run the workflow, the date will be different, right? So parameter will always remain the same value. Variable will always change every time you run it. Is that clear? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
So this is the example of a variable. Parameter we already did. This is the example of a mapping variable. This is an example of a mapping variable, okay? So this is an example of Powercenter defined variable. We know an example of user defined parameter and Powercenter defined parameter. This is an example of Powercenter defined variable. Is that clear to everyone?
Yes.
So you can also capture the mapping name, session name, workflow name. That is actually one of the assignments. So along with, you can capture the mapping name, workflow name, session name, repository, integration service, all those things you can capture and load it to a table. Okay. But in the target table, you need to have a column where you can store that. Yeah, for now, you can store the mapping name into name. Okay. No, check your data now. And capture the mapping name, session name, workflow name, integration service, target table name, source file name, everything you can capture. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay, let me share screen. Let me see how many. Let's take a look at all the assignment questions. So, all the interview questions so far.
Where to knock a dear senior?
What? You guys can see my screen, right? Okay. How do you load multiple flat files into one table? Indirect load and using list file. You guys know this one, right?
Yes.
So next
Yes.
time I will not cover this. You guys know this very well. Will you create a list file manually?
No.
No,
Automatically.
through the script.
Okay. How do you capture the source file name?
Double click on the source analyzer and go to the last
No.
option of the property.
Go to source analyzer and double click on the source definition.
And then properties
Double
and last option.
Yeah, double click on the, go to source analyzer and double click here, and then go to properties and select the add currently processed file name. What is the first character when you have flat file as target? And how do you remove this? I already showed yesterday, right? Right? You have to use a special property. You have to use a special property and say remove a custom property.
Yeah, custom properties.
And say remove output header hash. So next time I will not cover this interview question. No, this one I did not cover. Oh, no. Can you guys tell me any performance tuning techniques we have covered so far? We covered a few, right? How do you make
create index?
No, at Powercenter level. Tell me any.
Yes, only thing you had was to have the filter closer to the source.
Very good. At the mapping level, you will have filter as close to source as possible, right? At the session level, what will you do?
Bulk load.
Bulk load, very good. One more. You will use bulk load, and you will have to, if you have a constraint, you will use pre and post SQL.
Pre and post SQL, yes.
Okay, what is another one? I covered this. Commit interval should be very high.
I don't understand the question, like, to be honest.
Okay. How do you make the workflow run faster?
Oh, faster. Okay.
That's what it means. What are the different performance tuning techniques? Performance tuning means your workflow should be tuned to run very good.
Okay.
Okay. So commit interval should be high. It cannot be 1 or 2. It should be high.
10,000. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we will come back to this. No. How do you remove duplicates from source table or flat file? You only know one right now. Use distinct and sorted. There are other ways of doing it. Okay, you don't know this one. You don't know this one. Okay. What is the difference between single dollar, double dollar?
Is one of them user and one of them is Powercenter identified. I mean, defined parameters.
Yeah. So single dollar is Powercenter defined. Double dollar is user defined. Yeah, this is Powercenter defined, user defined, and what is triple dollar? Triple dollar is
altogether.
So triple dollar is date or session start time, whatever you had on the screen, and this is a variable. This is a Powercenter defined variable. Again, what is the difference between parameter and variable? I just covered. Parameter value will remain same throughout the mapping, throughout the session. Even if you run the session 100 times, the value will remain the same. $gender equals to M will always remain will always load mail records. Variables, for example, sysdate, every time you run it, it will change, right? Every time you run it, it will change. So I covered this. I already covered this. This one I covered. So you guys see, right, how many interview questions you already know? Okay. Okay, I will cover this right now. This takes like a minute. Okay, this is short interview question. The first question they'll ask you is this one only, SCD type 1, type 2. How do you get difference between filter and router? You already know. I will cover this. Different joints I will cover. How do you load even an odd number of rows? You already know. Stop and abort, which one is faster?
Abort.
Abort is faster. Use bulk mode, use high commit interval. See, already I have some steps here. Okay. So one thing I want to cover here is you can mention what kind of you can mention your session log. Your session log can have, if you want it very detailed, you can use this. If you don't want it very detailed, you can use this one. Sorry, you can use the normal one. Okay, sometimes when you're trying to troubleshoot something, you want to see the logs very detailed, right? So you can use something like this verbose data. Okay, but the problem is, once you figure out what the problem is, return the tracing level back to norm. Otherwise, so we had this issue at work, like 2012. Somebody changed the tracing level from normal to verbose data, and they checked in the mapping and they went home. During nighttime, all the workflows were failing because none of the workflows could create session log, because this one was creating in GBs. For each row, it will tell you how the record is flowing. Okay, so it filled up this folder here. It filled up this folder. See, session logs are generated here. You see all the session logs are generated here. So normally it's in KBs. Okay, but when you make it as verbose data, see what happens. So that is another performance tuning. So keep that one as normal. Keep the tracing level as normal. So if I run my workflow, it will be very detailed. So previously, you see, it was like ETL file creation was how much? It was only like 13 KB. See, it's increasing from 13 to 20. So it increased 50%, right? For example, if you have millions of records, okay, this will be like in GBs. Okay, so if you look at the session log now, you will see very detailed session log. See, it will tell you all these things are extra. All these things are extra. All these things are extra. Okay, it will show you how each record is flowing through. Okay.
So one of the reasons to use this is just to troubleshoot
just for troubleshooting. Once you finish troubleshooting, put it back to normal. Okay, that is one of the performance tuning techniques. Is that clear? See, the last file and this time it's 50% increased already. Imagine if you have millions of records. So this will be like huge. So when this folder was filled up, none of the other sessions could generate the session log here. So if I open this session log right now, it will be, you won't be able to read it. See, you won't be able to read it. But over here, you can read it, right? Over here, you can read it properly, right? So there is a setting which you can change. You can double click on this, go to properties, and do you see a right backward compatible session log file? So click this, say apply, say okay. You don't need to know all this. I'm just showing it. So right now over here, it will not create it in log.bin format. It will create it in a proper format if you select that box. So Powercenter is all double clicking, right click, drag and drop. So the same session log which is getting generated here will get generated here also. If I refresh this. See, now it created as a text document. Open it in Notepad++. See, this is so much better, right? Here, so you have to select this box here. Go to properties. Go to properties and select the right backwards compatible session log. So it will create it in readable format. But never ever keep this verbose data. Okay, always return it back to normal. Always return it back to normal once you figure out, and then check in. So we had, I'll never forget that. We were getting calls in the night saying that all the workflows are failing. Okay, then somebody opened up the Informatica admin. He sent out an email saying that this folder is filled up, this session logs. So every folder has some space in it, like 1 GB, 2 GB. So this one was getting filled up and no other sessions could create their session log here. See now, this one was created with 21 KB. Now if I run this, it will be half the size. It will be only half the size of what it was created. So that is another type of performance tuning. That is what are the different types of tracing levels? Always keep it to normal. Okay, so now if I see previously it was 21 KB, right? Now it created as 13 KB. So every time you run the workflow, the session log will be overwritten with the previous one. Is that clear? Every time you run the session log, it will overwrite with what it was there before.
Yes.
Even this one is 109. So if you want to save your session logs, you don't want to overwrite it. Right now it is saving session log with the name. So there is one of this option here. Save session log by name or save session log by timestamp. Okay, see, save session log by, I don't want it by name, I want it by timestamp. So what will happen every time you run a workflow, it will create a brand new session log and it will append the timestamp. Remember when you archive the files, you appended the timestamp. So now when I run this, it will create SM ETL file creation. It will not override this, and it will say _7/5/2020. I'll show you that. Turab, did you know this?
Yes, we usually keep 5.
Okay, you keep last 5?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So when you select that box, you shouldn't keep it like the last 100 runs. Okay, it will start filling up your. So over here, you can go and session timestamp, and you have an option. See, this one can be parameterized. The maximum size. Where do you say that?
Yeah, you press the save session logs max.
No,
Yeah,
but this is disabled.
Can you change timestamp to
if you save it by session runs, you can say last 5.
Yeah, we use the session runs, not the timestamp.
Okay, either that or that. So now when you see, it created the session log with the timestamp now. Okay, so one is, so it created session log with the timestamps. Okay, so now I'm seeing 2. One is the .log.bin and one is the text file. Okay, now if I run this again, it will again save it. It will not overwrite. Previously, it kept overwriting this one. Now it will keep saving with different runs here. Or you can say save it by session. Okay, this is done by your Informatica admin. Okay, you don't have to work with this. Your Informatica admin will work with your Informatica lead, and he will ask what is how many last runs do you want it to save, and do you want it to save it by timestamp. You will not be even involved in this conversation. Okay, but you should know if you're saving it by session runs, you can save the last 3. Okay, so Is that clear?
Yeah, and also you can apply this to the workflow as well, workflow logs.
Yeah. Is that clear? So also another thing, just like you have session logs, you also have workflow logs. Every time you run a workflow, it keeps overwriting. Okay. So now if you run the workflow, it will start saving it with timestamp. Okay. You will not be even part of this conversation. Your admin will decide. But if you work for a smaller company, the admin will might reach out to you directly, like how many sessions do you want, how many session logs do you want it to save, or do you want it to save it by timestamp or something? When do you save it by timestamp and when do you save it by, can somebody give me an example? Turab, when do you save it by timestamp and when do you save it by run? We actually had a problem at work. So this ETL file creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is reading data from one table and loading it to a parameter file. So I will have hundreds of workflows where this session will be common for everybody, and this will be different because everybody needs to create a ETL file creation, right?
Yeah.
Suppose if I run 100 workflows at one time, this one will run 100 times, right? The same mapping will run 100 times because this code is going to be the same. So our workflows were delayed because it had to complete this one. And once it was done, then the other workflow was running where it had to again run this part. And the third workflow again had to create an ETL file creation. So it could not run till the session log was created. So we decided not to save it by name. We decided to save it by timestamp. So when this workflow runs, it will create another flat file. It will create another log file. The second workflow will create another log file. The third, so everybody will be independent. Everybody will have their own. Otherwise, previously, all of them had this one only. I hope you understood that.
Yeah, it's clear.
So you solved it to separating with them like as a two files, right?
Yeah, so previously what was happening was, so suppose I have workflow 1, workflow 2, workflow 3, and this one had section 1, section 2. Okay. This one had session 3 and session 4. This one had session 5 and this one was session 6. Okay. So the session 1, 3, and 5 were all creating param file. This one was creating param file. This one was creating param file for this one to pick up and load. But when you're running multiple parameter files, so it's using the same mapping, right? It's reading data from the same. It's reading data from the same table and loading it and creating a session log, which is like this, which is all of them are creating the same session log, ETL file creation, right? So if this one was creating the ETL file creation, this one had to wait because when it's writing the logs to this one, it has to wait for this one to complete, then this one. So we decided not to save session logs by name. We decided to save it by timestamp. So now when it was creating this one, it was creating 07 underscore 05 underscore 2020, and then the hours, minutes, and seconds. This one was creating with another timestamp. So all of them, this one was not waiting for this one to run because previously it was just this, the log was called this. Instead, it started saving with their individual timestamps. So it made our workflows run faster. I mean, you don't have to explain this. Nobody's going to ever ask you this. Just remember that when to use with timestamp, when to use with name. And nobody's even going to question you that. Okay?
That makes sense.
You don't even need to know this, okay? There is just extra information. Okay, anybody has any questions?
No.
Abdul, I have a question. So I'm coming back to parameter file. So we created the table, right? Let's say if you want to create new parameter file, you said you have to add the let's say parameter 1, parameter 2, parameter 3, right? But we cannot touch the main table.
No.
Okay, so we're gonna have the new conditions for the new project. So you cannot put the, let's
So
say,
they will already
1, 2, 3, 5 for the project.
no when they create this, they will already have so many columns here, like param1 value 1, param2 value 2, param3 value 3. They will have like as many as you want. The maximum number of things you can parameterize, they will have it here.
Okay, but did you see my table? But we didn't see the any parameter. This is a different way that they.
Yeah, I will
Because
cover
I
that.
just want to get an explanation on that, so I want to understand how our environment how it works.
Okay, so guys, if others don't understand this, it's okay. I will cover this later. Okay. So Turab, so you have your table like this, right? What are your column names there? You have
let's say ID, workflow name, folder name.
You have ID?
Yes, ID. Folder name.
Okay.
Workflow name.
You don't have workflow name, right?
Oh, actually.
You don't have folder name, workflow name. Yours is different. You have the parameter file name. You have parameter file name.
Yes, that's right.
Can you paste
param file name? I'm sending you right now.
Yeah, can you paste your DDL here?
Yeah, I'm doing right now.
Actually, share your screen. It's okay. Just share your screen.
You want to share? Okay.
I'm going to stop sharing. So, guys, if you don't understand this, is okay. If you know how to create it like this one is good enough. But let me just show you this one as well.
Okay, so this is my table.
Okay.
Okay, we have already created.
Okay.
I have one value here.
Okay.
So let's say.
No, actually, go to your work, the work screen, the work database. That makes more sense.
Okay, you want to type something?
Yeah, I want you to go to your work, the work table.
Okay. So yeah, give me 1 second, please.
Yeah, it would be easier to explain there.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, you'll need to practice a lot. Okay, you need a lot of practice. It's easy, but you have to practice.
Let me show. Okay. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have, let's say, added all of this. This is let's say one project. Let's say if I want to add new project, I need to go insert manually.
Yes, you will simply insert one row. You'll simply insert a row right at the bottom. Okay. Now, so in this one, so where is your heading sequence? Okay, you have the heading sequence at the end. So you will always have global at the top. Okay.
Yes.
Now, so can you execute your select statement?
Select all from param value?
No, with a wait statement.
Okay, this one?
Yeah, execute this. Wait for it. Okay, perfect. So you have in the select statement only you are creating this, right?
Yes.
So you're doing like 80% of the job in your source qualifier itself.
That's right.
Right. So now, so how I'm using the workflow name, session name, workflow name, you're using the parameter file name. You're using that as So how I'm using the work ID, like I'm using the ID, right? 1, 2, 3. So you're using the parameter file name. Okay. So when you execute your select statement, this is what you get, right?
Yes.
You put this in your source qualifier. In your expression, you will have 21 different columns. Okay.
Yes.
And then you will go back to your mapping. Okay, you don't have 21 different columns. You'll bring in whatever columns you want. Okay. And then in your expression, so that is the problem I have here, because you're doing everything in source qualifier. Why do you even need this expression, right? You can delete this expression and map it directly to target, right?
Yeah.
So
this gives us this output already.
Yeah, so I don't like to do it this way, because if somebody is looking at this, they will think that why is there a source definition? What happened to all the columns in source qualifier? What is he even doing in expression? It's just more like a pass through, right? Right. So okay. So anyways, so don't try to do things in source qualifier like that. It will give you performance advantage because everything will run on the database directly, but it will be very difficult to troubleshoot. So now the next time, go back to your database. So there is an advantage of the way you're doing, there are disadvantages. There is an advantage of the way I am doing, and there are disadvantages. The advantage for yours is your code is going to be very simple. There is nothing going to be in your expression, but it will be complicated to troubleshoot. Mine, I'm showing each and every column, like how it's coming into the expression and how the parameter file is getting created, right? So you have 21 different rows here, right? You have 21 different rows here. So all you're going to do is get rid of this 21 different rows and load it into one single column in your parameter file. So tomorrow, if you want a 20-second value, so you will insert a value into your table and execute the same select statement. So you will have 21, and then you will have a 20-second line. And then, for example, you will have $db connection underscore equals to HR. Okay. So you can execute the select statement, and it will create this, and then it will be passed through your parameter file.
That's right.
Okay, whatever you're doing here, the pipe, I'm doing it. You're doing it in your select statement. I'm doing it in my expression.
Yes.
Right. So what is your question here?
Question is, let's say if I added here database connection as a HR, right? And in the param files heading sequence, how we're gonna define this, and then it won't mess with the other param.
You will never touch your sequence. You will never touch your sequence. You will only change the scroll down to the 20-second line. You will only change that def to HR. 21st line. Look at the 21st line.
Oh, already defined here, right? Yeah. So we're just gonna change the EDW here.
Yeah, only that one you will change it to HR. That's it.
Oh, okay. But let's say if a new condition, filter condition, if it's not here, then I need to insert.
So you will write an insert statement. Okay, in your select statement, get rid of L-trim, R-trim, heading, get rid of that. In your select statement.
Can I do this?
Yeah, get rid of the heading, param file, or get rid of all of that, and just put star there. So if you have a brand new condition which is not defined, so I'm going to add in the column. You are going to add it. No, execute the weird statement also. I want to execute the weird statement also. Okay. So tomorrow, if you have a brand new, so you will add it as part of a row. So scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay. You will add parameter name ID 813, parameter file epic, EDW fact. First column, second column, third column will remain the same. Fourth column, you will add $DB connection. Fifth column, you will say equals to HR. Is that clear?
Saying I need to change it from here.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Do you want to change, or do you want to insert a brand new value? You're asking two different things. If you want to change that one, EDW to HR, you will write an update statement. If you want to add a parameter which is not existing here, it's brand new. So you will say parameter field name ID 400168113. Go to the 21st line at the bottom. You will enter 400168113. I think this will come in automatically. Then you will type in epic. Yeah, parameter file name will be the same because you want to load it to the same file. The heading will not be global, okay? And then parameter name, you will say $gender equals to M. And the heading sequence will be 22. And then you will write a created time, insert time. Okay, when you run your select statement, it will create the syntax of the parameter file with the 20-second line in it.
Yes.
Okay, you're doing in rows, I am doing in columns.
And then we can use the, I mean, I watch also videos like they do the, normalizer transformation. They change the row to the column.
Columns to rows. Normalize
Columns to rows, yes.
to rows. So I can use it in my mapping, columns to rows.
Yes.
You cannot use normalizer here. Okay, I don't want to confuse everybody here. Stick to this one or mine. Okay, either or, but you cannot use this unless you know how to work on source qualifier transformation. So once we do source qualifier transformation, we'll come back to this one. Is that clear to everyone? I promise. Okay, once we do source qualifier transformation, I will show how he is creating this.
Okay, Abdullah, I just want to show you something. Let's say this is you're saying
Why are they all disabled?
Say again?
Are they disabled or checked in?
No, we don't have the versioning.
Okay. Oh, you don't have version control?
No.
That is very bad. Anybody can log in. Okay, anyways, so what's your question?
You're saying like it's not a good practice to put you see, look at this. we put it here and then we did part in the.
It's not a good practice or not. So what you're doing will give you performance tuning because you're executing directly on the database. So your workflow will run faster than mine, but troubleshooting will be difficult for you.
You cannot understand like what's going on here, right? It's very hard to define.
Yeah, I know you're joining some tables and you're using with statement. You're using. What is your question here?
Say again?
What is your question here?
Oh, cool. My question is like, let's say this is the complex query, right? Are you going to also explain us? Let's say you're gonna take this query and then you're gonna apply to the Informatica transfer. Yeah. Can you do that also?
Yeah. I would do it that way. I wouldn't write anything in my source qualifier because it's going to get complicated there. So how you're joining here, right? I would use a joiner transformation. See, you're joining left join, left join, left join. I will use lookups or I will use joiner transformation. Okay, it would be easier. You see, right now you cannot understand the data flow.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So if you're putting everything in the source qualifier, why are you even using Powercenter, right? You can use stored procedures or something, and you can create a job and in the stored procedure, and you can execute that, right?
Yes, but even though this mapping, right? This PKDW transaction PBSTG, this we also use the transformations mappings. We just, I mean, in the part we leave it there, but the rest of them we apply to the transformations.
I mean, what you're doing is correct. You'll get better performance because you should join in database rather than Powercenter. You'll get better performance.
Can I ask who decides this in Turab's job, for example?
So
who decides the way you work?
So it's up to him. It's up to a developer how they do it. Okay. If I have to do this, I will use my I will use transformations in Powercenter. Okay. Some people like to put everything in the source qualifier and not use any transformations.
You see how many lookups we use?
Yeah, don't scare them. It's okay. We'll get there. We'll get there. So this is all joins. He's joining.
But when I put all the query in the source qualifier, and then it won't go to the production. They don't let you go to the production with the whole complex query. I can put some of them, but not the more complex one, because they also say like it's going to be complicated if something wrong.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult to troubleshoot. So your example, performance will be better, troubleshooting will be difficult. Mine, performance might not be great, but troubleshooting will be easy because I have everything in the mapping. I know how the data is flowing. For yours, I do not know how because you did so many joins in your source qualifier, right?
So Rob, you work in a healthcare domain?
Yes, that's right.
We'll cover this. Don't worry about it. It's not difficult. Clear?
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, no problem. I'll see you guys on Tuesday then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You too. Bye.